We know AMC ripped two times, back in January and back in June of 2021. And if you take a look at the chart, the volume has been very flat ever since. There was only one time where the volume came up to about 600 million, and you saw AMC's share price rise about 165%. Now, double that volume, more than double that volume, happened back in June of 2021. Over 2 billion in volume, and you saw the share price rise about 700%. As well as back in January of 2021, you saw the share price rise almost 1000% at over 3 billion in volume. So the higher the volume, it seems as if the price moves higher. And ever since, of course, the volume has been flat. A lot of orders are being routed to dark pools, and a lot of retail doesn't have the money that they put initially in back in January and back in June of 2021. And market makers have a lot of control over the options chain, as well as just halting the stock in general. We can see that if we bring the drawings in, there is a descending parallel line that acts as a resistance level, that anytime it goes up to that, there are major halts on the stock that essentially end up bringing it to the downside. But the difference is now these shifts higher are on very little to no volume. And the reason that's happening, right? The reason AMC runs 150% with very, very little volume and they have to halt it is because this pressure is still built up under the stock. What's happening right now is they're just kicking the clock and letting the time go on and on and on and trying to keep this in an endless loop. But now, even with no volume, the algos have this pressure built up behind the stock. So the question is, will AMC squeeze? Are you in this play for this thing to still squeeze? I want to give you my opinion on this. I want to talk about some stuff that happened back in January and June of 2021 and some stuff Adam Aaron went over today. If you guys want to help me out, please hit the like button. It's free. That's all I ask. Also, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video out to more people. Before we jump into the week, AMC is sitting at no shares available to borrow according to Stonko Tracker, with a high percent cost to borrow fee, still sitting on the threshold security list for about 9 consecutive days. More calls are being bet, however, than puts on the options chain, but not by much, and the short exempts are stacking up. So market makers, short sellers, hedge funds are still keeping an eye on this play at this level and keeping it down by dumping short exempts on top of the buyer volume. Now, on top of it being on the threshold securities list, they have that date on July 17th, that T+35 settlement date, to cover some fails to deliver. And AMC is sitting at a relative low. We're retesting that low almost at 380, 370, and when that time comes, they have a little bit of time to let this thing trail back up before kicking the can down the road once again. But there's one thing that might put a rock in their downwards momentum, and that is, of course, the conversion reverse split lawsuit. Now, August 13th, 2022, when APE was being issued, Adam Aaron tweeted this. We talked about it. You missed crucial facts. In January 2021, AMC issued shares and the share price soared. As well as May, June of 2021, we issued shares and the share price soared. And we stopped selling shares in July of 2021. AMC started a long fall. APE's announced last week, AMC up again. Now, this wouldn't make any sense, right? APE is announced, so AMC is scaling back up. This just doesn't seem like something he should have said in here, and I'm realizing it now, right? If you're diluting AMC, this is a different story. But if you're putting it into a different stock, this is just blatantly telling lies to shareholders that this is good for AMC, right? Not as a company, but as a share price, right? No, this would have been good necessarily for APE, if not good for either, right? And the only reason he did this is to forcefully get dilution because shareholders rejected it. Now, the day before Adam Aaron announced the APE conversion reverse split and dilution in 2022, APE closed at 68 cents. And since that day, APE is up over 250%, and the no vote FUD is up at least 1100%. Not a coincidence. Somebody is terrified of voting yes. I do agree somewhat that it is a little fishy that institutions and short sellers on AMC don't want to vote yes. They've been against it. They've been trying to delay it. However, I found something from 10 years ago. It's a very old article, and the question lies, what happens when there's stock dilution? What happens to the volume, and are you getting screwed by the company? Now, there's 3 scenarios here, and you tell me which one you think we're in. These are examples. Money Corp wants to expand. They sell 90,000 shares for $1 each. The money goes in the same bank account at the same interest rate. Do the original shareholders see a change? No. 100,000 shares at $100,000, still $1 a share. No problem. This is the ideal situation. Money Corp sells 90,000 shares for less than the current price at 50 cents. Do the original shareholders lose out? Yes, it now has something like 55,000 and 100,000 shares. Each share is now worth 55 cents. The company has given away valuable equity to new shareholders. That's bad. Why didn't they get more money from those guys? This is exactly the scenario we're in, but a little bit tweaked. Right? The question always lies, why didn't Adam Aron sell Ape at $11 if he forced dilution anyway? Now, if you come down here, you will see legally, if you own part of a company and they do something like scenario 2 on you, you may be out of luck. Consider also the other owners are probably hurt as much as you are. Only the new shareholders win, and unless the management approving the deal is somehow giving themselves a sweetheart deal, it'll be hard to demonstrate any malfeasance as an individual. You probably won't file a lawsuit either unless you own a very large stake in the company. Lawsuits are expensive. A big institutional investor or activist investor of some sort may file a suit if millions of dollars are at stake, but it'll be ugly at best. The question lies, right, because this is just leading us into a spiral. Is the conversion reverse split to help retail, to help OG shareholders? Whether you voted yes, whether you voted no, it doesn't really matter. It's probably going to go through. But what I want to point out here, there's something fishy as to why he didn't sell at $11 and giving the new shareholders the luck of the draw here. But then on the other side, it says you wouldn't file a lawsuit if you don't own a lot of shares unless millions are at stake. Allegheny, only holding 879 shares, clearly is not risking millions of dollars, okay? So somebody is behind that. Somebody, either long, is saying, listen, I have a ton of shares, but I don't want to come out and, screw over my hedge fund buddies out in the open and say that I am going to open a lawsuit because I don't want this to go through, and I'm going to need you to do it. You only have 880 shares. Okay, that's scenario 1. Or scenario 2 is that the reverse split and conversion is actually going to really ruin short sellers. And that would bring us back to what Adam Aron stated Apes announced last week, AMC up again. It brings us back to the tweet. Now, if it does go through, which it's most likely going to, I see a huge potential in purchasing some Ape and going long for a couple of weeks until that conversion happens. And the only scenario where, I bet puts on AMC is that this doesn't hurt short sellers. This doesn't hurt institutions, right? And that it's just going to track back down to zero once it goes through. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. But remember, we didn't wait 2.5 years while they shorted trillions additional naked shorts to bring the price down to sell at $50, $70, $100, $500, or even $1,000. And remember that GameStop hit $480 with only FOMO buying, no covering. We will set the price now, not them. You guys remember, we set the price ultimately. And before we move on to some stuff Adam Aron just talked about, if you guys download Moomoo using my link, it's in the top of the description, and sign up and make a deposit, it takes 2 minutes to do so. You are getting a ton of benefits. If you put in $100, you're getting $100 back, so you can withdraw $200 plus 5 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock. If you deposit more, you're getting a potential 15 free stocks with that cash reward no matter what, and a potential Tesla or Google stock. Make sure to use my link, download Moomoo, and make a deposit. That link is under the video and in the top of comments. Also, guys, pop in the Discord before the week starts. I just dropped a video about an IPO that's coming out that I will be pre-ordering, so make sure to go watch that if you didn't see it yet. Pop in the Discord. We talk stocks all day long. We post gains, post losses, take some degen trades, and we also have options trading alerts in there as well. Adam Aron tweeted, "The Eras Tour is spectacular. Count me among the many millions of Swifties." Yada, yada, yada. He goes on to say that he likes Taylor Swift's music. However, he quoted his tweet and said, "I read my Twitter feeds to better understand what you think, both the good and bad. Some of you noticed AMC also stands for Aaron, Musk, and Cohen, and that Taylor Swift's Eras Tour decodes as Elon, Ryan, and Adam. Odds of those 6 initials are 1 in 8.6 million. Crazy, huh? Now, if there's anybody that he could possibly talk about that would get apes stirred up, it's Ryan Cohen and Elon Musk. And I want to hear the tinfoil hat theories in the comments down below. Plus, really bizarre FUD floating around Twitter that we are suppressing attendance for Sound of Freedom. Yesterday, we showed that movie 3,000 times at 570 US theaters and more than 100,000 people watched it. Misinformation on Twitter is astonishing. Bots? Haters? Question mark. He follows this up by saying, "Let's put this ridiculous conspiracy theory to bed. Friday and Saturday, more than 250,000 people watched Sound of Freedom at AMC in the US Angel Studios head of distribution. In quotes, no other theater chain in the world has shown more support for Sound of Freedom and Angel Studios than AMC. Plus, a little sprinkle on top, Goldman Sachs mismarked approximately 60 million short sell orders as long, according to FINRA. And a touch on the market that might spook you, the last time before this rate hike cycle that we saw a 10-year yield of 4.06% was during the financial crisis of 2008, when it was actually on the way down. Now, for more than 30 years, the 2-year, 10-year Treasury yield has never inverted without a recession to follow. In each of those times, rates reverted to where they had been previously. Am I missing something? What do you guys think? I think the market is going to rhyme its history. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Overall, that is what I got for you for today's video. Make sure to watch the videos I uploaded on the weekend. Let's get ready for the week. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.